Good morning and welcome to Touch Base Daily. And this is Focus Friday. And I am your co host. Well, your host for today. Typically, I'm your co host. Ron is at the dentist getting his cleaning today. So you're stuck with me. What's up, everyone? Welcome to the show. I hope everyone's having a great Friday. If you're in the Northeast, especially, it is beautiful out here. So make sure that you get out and enjoy the beautiful weather. I hope that everyone can hear me okay. Just let me know that in the comments. So let's start off like we normally do and say our good mornings. Of course, first in the room today is Brian Young. How you doing, Brian? Happy Friday to you, fam. Nice to hear you. All right, good. You guys can hear me. Perfect. All right. So Ron is not in the background today running the show. It is just me, and I hopefully will have a guest sometime a little bit later throughout the show. So Brian gets the gold star for being the first one in the room today. And then at number two, we've got Jazzy. What's up, Jazzy? Good morning. Uh, and of course, I'm dealing with some technical issues here, but we're going to get it together. We're going to get it together. And then rounding up third, we've got Anthony Rowland. Good morning, Anthony. How you doing? Let's get some of the comments on the screen. Morning, Derek. Derek says good morning to me. Well, good morning. How you doing today? Excuse me. So let's see. Let's go get in the chat, private chat. But I hope everyone's doing well. Like I said, it's Friday. It is May 2nd. We're already 2 days into the month, and I don't know. It's getting warm. We've got a crazy administration. A lot's going on. The summer's I'm getting ready to get heated up. There's lots of concerts, lots of movies, and we're going to talk about a little bit of that today. So we'll do a few things like we normally do. We'll touch base with some news, and then we'll talk a little pop culture, and then we'll get into some other things of interest. So I think we might have somebody here. Let's see. So you have to bear with me a little bit. Ron has a lot of stuff going on in the background, and it is really a feat to actually do all of this and then to be in front of you guys and talk all the time, every day. So let's see. I'm going to bring in our guest for today. Let me add her to the stage. Good morning, Elise.
Good morning. How are you?
How you doing? I'm
I'm
good.
good.
Okay. What are you up to?
Look, I went out and my husband told me if I got up early this morning, he helped me put the soil down in my garden. That was the first thing I did this morning. Put the soil
Okay.
in the garden so I can get my garden started. Uh,
How's the weather there in DC?
oh, it's beautiful.
Yeah. The
Beautiful.
Northeast is getting a nice string of weather lately. I think it's supposed to rain though starting tomorrow,
Yes.
going back until next week Wednesday. Even though it's supposed to be warm, so we're supposed to be out of our April showers and not into May flowers. But I think we have some holdover rain from last month.
Look,
So let me
that's
go back into the
always the
comments.
case in DC. And we're supposed to have rain tomorrow as well. So
Yeah.
always rain there.
Let's see. Derek's in the room. I said good morning to him. Jazzy's in the room. Good morning. Let's see. All right. Well, here we go. What's up, Chris? What's up, TBD family? What's up, everybody? Happy Thunderbolts Friday, happy Marvel Day, and happy Summer Walker, and welcome to the weekend. Yes, Brian. Now, let me take a sip afterwards for that one.
You have all of it. All the
Ron,
welcome.
Ron normally gets it in before he does that, but welcome. Let's see who else. Oh, we already got. So, Lisa, of course, you're in the room.
Yes.
Um, Good morning, Derek Tuggle, Brian Creative, Anthony Rowland, Bryson. Yes. All right, so let's get started. I have a little bit of a lineup, but you know how we do here. If we
Yes.
decide to kind of go left a little bit, we'll go where the wind takes us. All right. So I don't really want to focus on the administration a lot. I want to just do one topic and then move
Mhm.
on to other things that really empower us and make us feel good. I want this to be a happy, good Friday. All right.
All right.
So yesterday, Mike Vance was fired from the administration. He was part of that whole Signalgate controversy. And of course, no heads rolled for it. But so here's the tricky thing about this stuff. He was quote unquote fired, but then a few hours later, quote unquote promoted to ambassador to the UN. Now, What is your take on that before I get into it?
Like, with all of these people, and it's like, how, what does it all mean? First of all, you want to get disconnected from the UN. Now you want to put someone over there who definitely has no idea what to do with the UN. And so it's just this, it's a game of, I don't even know, it's not even chess to me. It's like, they're just moving pieces around on a board for no real logical reasons. And it's not helping anyone. And it's like, oh, so this is the token. We're going to say we're going to get rid of him, but we're really not getting rid of him. We just want to try to get rid of the heat that's coming on for Hegseth, right? They're
Exactly.
trying to get rid of the heat, as if this guy is the problem, right? But he's not the problem, because these other signal conversations, he wasn't the one that initiated them. He didn't do all these things. He didn't have Hegseth's wife in on national defense conversations, which she still continues to be a part of.
Yeah.
So that's just a shift of distraction.
Yeah, it's all switch and bait. I mean, that's really what it is. I mean, if you really think about it, Pete Hegseth is probably the bigger problem here, and they're using Mike as a scapegoat to say, all right, well, you know what? We've done something. We've addressed the issue. We have fired him from his post. In this administration, but then you turn around, you don't even give it a day or a week. You literally hours later, you say, well, he's done such a great job. We're going to nominate him for the UN as an ambassador. Like, where does that make sense? If you fire someone for being incompetent and not doing their job, why would you put them in another position to screw up even more? Right. Another profile position. Right. But this is what this administration does. There's no accountability, and all they're going to do is continue to screw up and then blame everyone else. The other thing that I find very interesting, what's been going on in the news lately, is that, the economy's tanking. Everyone's been reporting their financial earnings, and everyone's seen that the stock market is just like tanking, right?
Right.
Trump goes on TV this week and says, "Oh, the stock market tanking is Biden's fault, and he owns it." How can he own it when you've been in office for the first quarter of the fiscal year?
Right.
And then when Biden was in office and the economy was doing well, you took ownership of it when you hadn't been in office for over 4 years. Make that make sense.
Absolutely.
Even Fox News has had to come on and say, "Oh, there's been a slight decline of the economy, and this is not good for our economy." But yet and still, you can't take ownership of it. You take ownership of nothing. His administration is worthless.
Well, and that's what they do. They can't, everything that they want to deal with, it goes back to, oh, Biden did. Biden hasn't been here. You created this monster. You started this when you started playing around with tariffs. Everything started to tank. You put the maniac over there with Doge. That impacted everything. And you started making these threats to people. All of that's you. All these, you're the first quarter. You're the first quarter. You're the responsibility for that. But they never take responsibility for everything. Because even with even with the whole thing with Hegseth said, "Oh, I'm getting rid of this over here in the Defense Department," but it was his policy he signed in 2017. Biden didn't do that. Everything they wanted, they never. It's this thing about narcissistic personalities. They never want to hold themselves accountable for anything. And so it's either going to be Biden. Who knows? He'll probably say Obama did something. And you know how long ago that's been. But he hold himself accountable. And the problem is people sitting there listening to this garbage, they know better. They know when their things started to change for them.
They do, but here's the thing, they don't care. And that is the point. They don't care. As long as it suits their agenda and what they're trying to do, that's all that really matters to them.
But it goes back to what Gwendolyn says. Until it comes home to roost, they won't care.
Yeah, exactly.
Especially the ones that are at the top making all the money, they don't care for real. They don't care.
Yeah. All right. So one last thing I want to talk about in regards to this administration. So of course the Orange Cheeto in charge signed another executive order yesterday, because it seems like that's all he can do. He's not trying to pass any bills, or he's not trying to help legislate. Congress is doing nothing. But anyway, another executive order ordering federal funding cut for PBS and NPR. And everyone knows that this was coming, but now he's signed it into a quote unquote law or whatever
Right.
with his executive order. And I know you have a deep love for PBS and NPR. Talk a little bit about that.
So, those are places where, you look at PBS, right? Not only does it give you conversations around history, but also gives education to people. So their biggest thing is he wants to destroy anything where you can get education that they don't like because they're telling the truth. So that's where you get those things where children can learn and they be entertained, and they want to use it. They want to disguise it as, oh my God, they're indoctrinating children, but it's all garbage, and it all falls under free speech and education.
Yeah.
That's all that both of these things fall under that. Because when you look at it, they don't care about NPR and doing tiny desks. They care about NPR and the news and the facts that they put out. This is more of, let us totally control all information from every standpoint. And so because we have this power over these things, see, we can take their federal dollars. We don't have to sue them. We just take the money that they have, and that lessens what they're able to do. And he's counting on people not funding them, and it's going to be that threat. And so it's about information, the free flow of information, and that really was under attack with both of these organizations, PBS and NPR. And it's public, a national public broadcast radio, so it goes out to everyone, and everyone has access to it. And it's still a part of that game of them not wanting people to have access. And you all and everyone who knows and have read and paid attention to the conversations around Project 2025, it's just continuing to do what they plan to do. It's still a part of that plan.
Right. All right. So, and I don't want to get this wrong, but I know that they don't get all their funding from the government. What is it? 40%?
It's probably 40% because they get public donations, right?
Okay, right.
And different states, like Maryland has their Maryland public broadcasting. So
right.
The state contributes, and then they also have donors. They have donations from community. So it's kind of like the fix that they put the museums in, right?
Yes.
So you have to make up that part that pays for the basic necessities, but a lot of it still comes from the public donations.
Right, and we've talked about this in the past, and we've said basically that it's really dependent on us as a community to back what we believe, and we're going to have to actually contribute a little bit more to keep these companies afloat, and so that they can get the word out and to continue to broadcast the way they have. I mean, come on now. Everyone has grown up on PBS, Sesame Street. A lot of us were educated and learned how to read and do our colors and all this stuff via PBS. It's a vital part of younger education, and even going into schools. Like you have the knowledge of certain things prior to going to preschool through PBS. Everyone knows that. And the NPR is great with public. It's a great public service.
Right.
It's not just tiny desk,
Right. It's not just. So they're not even worried about that part. They're worried about the news that comes through there. And when you talk about PBS, my son started reading at the age of 3. Not having been he was at home. He wasn't in a preschool program because he was watching Sesame Street and sounding out letters, and all of a sudden he's looking in the TV guide and reading the TV guide, and we're like, wait a minute, he actually can read. And it was because of that. But if you think about the attack on early childhood education, that can also be a part of the attack to take away programming like that, because they're taking away Head Start, all those things, and not having the pre-K school for kids. Those things are funded through, they get federal dollars to help areas funded. Like DC has all day pre-K and kindergarten, which is why people come illegally from Maryland and pretend they live in DC so they can do it, because it's all day. But those federal dollars help that.
Yep. Yeah, and I'm just popping up some of the comments that you guys are saying in the chat. I mean, this is absolutely true. The NPR and PBS are actual news sources, which is absolutely true. Like, a lot of people get their news via PBS and NPR.
And those documentaries that PBS does, on history,
Yes.
those historical
Yes.
documentaries.
Well, that's the thing. They're trying to erase history,
Right.
and erase, especially us people of color. You know.
Jazz said gets 15% from the federal government.
Oh, let me put that back up. Yeah. Oh,
Mhm.
50%. Thank you, Jazzy, for that.
That's
See,
good to know.
this is why you have to love the community. You know, if
Right.
you don't have the facts, someone else in this community will. So thank you, Jazzy, for that. So I want to get away from this toxic administration and kind of do a little pop culture. And there's two things I really want to talk about. And I know this will be kind of right up your alley because it's art and culture a little bit. All right. So the first one I want to talk about is Sinners.
Oh,
Now,
wow.
Sinners, have you seen it yet?
Absolutely.
Okay, because a lot of people are going back and seeing it 2 and 3 times now, and a lot of people, especially like myself and Ronald, we want to go back and watch it in IMAX. We didn't get a chance to see it in IMAX the first time, and most of the IMAX shows have been sold out. They
I
did
heard that.
actually just announce that they're going to start showing it in more IMAX theaters and more times because the demand is so high for it. But I
Right.
wanted to put something on the screen because I have some. Let me see if it'll show. Let's see. Okay, I think it's going to work. Yes, it worked. Okay, perfect. Look, when Ron does this every day, all day, it takes a lot, especially when you only have one person doing it.
I'm sure.
Um, so Ryan Coogler becomes the first Black director with 4 films to gross over 100 million domestically. This is actually pretty huge, and I don't want to understate this accomplishment. And I don't think that it's getting enough attention in media. Period. So as of 3 days ago, the latest stats that I could find, and this is via Screen Rant, Sinners has grossed 163 million worldwide. Now
Right.
it's 123.2 domestically and 39.8 internationally. That is amazing. That's only been what, 2 weeks.
2
So I
weeks.
believe the opening weekend it actually made about 70 million domestically, and it had an operating budget of 90 million to produce this film. And of course, you find those that will say, "Oh, it didn't do that well. It only made 70 million." Most movies don't make their money back within the first weekend.
Absolutely not.
You know what I mean?
Right.
It has now made its money back in less than 2 weeks. And like I said, that figure was as of 3 days ago. And they're
Right.
coming up on another big weekend. Now, here's the thing: it is up against Thunderbolts, which is opened today, and this is kind of like the unofficial kickoff to the summer movie season. And for Sinners to be doing this well this early on in the season is actually kind of amazing. And to be doing this in theaters, because we all know movie theaters have been struggling for decades. And then when COVID hit, it was pretty much wiped out and then after COVID, people didn't really start going back to the movies like they did before because
Right.
streaming is so prevalent. And then, a movie will come out and literally within weeks, it'll be on a streaming platform, one of the streaming platforms that you're already paying for. So people say, well, you know what? I'm going to wait, and I'm going to wait till I can see it at home in the comfort of my home. Everyone's got a big screen TV. I mean, the average size of flat screen TVs now are like 55, 65 inches, and people are okay with that, you know?
Right. But you know what I'll say about this particular movie, and I was talking to my husband and my daughter about it yesterday. This is a movie I say people need to have their first viewing of it in a theater. Not
Yes.
wait until it starts streaming, because you need to see this in a larger format than
Yes.
I don't have the capacity to have that size screen in my house. And I think you need to have that ability to see it in that larger screen, because it just opens so much up to you. I haven't seen it in IMAX. My daughter and son have, and they were like, it's definitely very different to see it in IMAX. And the fact that, and my daughter was explaining this to me yesterday, because she used to work for uh, Amazon on the Prime side, the video side. And she was saying that one of the things that's that's interesting about this one is that they normally run 2 weeks on IMAX. That's how they schedule
Yeah.
them. Like even the Thunderbolt is scheduled for the 2 weeks run on there.
Yeah.
But because this movie has done so well, they've extended it to this, even though both of those films are being produced by the same company.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So, Brian, yes, no, we're not gonna have any spoilers because we know there are people out there that still want
right.
to go see it, and we don't want to spoil it for you. But just know that this is such an amazing film. I think that when you go in, you go in with the mindset of it being one thing, and then you start to watch it, it becomes another thing, and then when you leave, it's a totally different revelation.
Right.
You walk out feeling one, and I don't think this is spoiling anything, but I think you walk out feeling just being proud to be a black person,
Yeah, you
you
do.
know, and that's the what it shows in this film, and it's an original film, which is a lot of times it's very hard to find original films nowadays. Most things are remakes of past films, or it
Right.
belongs to a franchise of a comic book series or something of that nature. This is a complete original film,
From start to
and
finish.
from start to finish. And what he is able to do in all of his films, Black Panther was such a revealing film for Marvel and for the Disney company, and it made so much money, and it spanned, it crossed over the line of only being a black film where only black people went to go see it. Like, everyone went to go see Black Panther. It was a technical marvel. It was great storytelling. Um, the directing was impeccable. The acting was amazing. The costumes, the set design. I mean, everything about Black Panther from start to finish was just chef's kiss, as they
Right.
would say.
Right.
And then, of course, he's done Creed, and then he did Wakanda Forever. And then, of course, I believe they are actually working on the next Black Panther movie right now. I'm not sure if they're only doing the script right now, but I know that it is in the works.
Yeah.
Excuse
And
me.
he did
Yeah.
Fruitville Station, which I could only
Yes.
watch once, but yes, he
Yeah.
did Fruitville
That
Station.
that's another good one. He does some really good work, and I love that he uses the same actors. He has a comfort level with the people that he works with. You know.
He if you all get a chance, go listen to his interview on Democracy Now. Because
Mm.
listen to his interview, the complete. I know most people have seen clips from it, but when you listen to the complete interview, it his loyalty to the people who he's worked with is amazing. So much so that I told my husband I have to look up when this man was born. Right, I went to look up his birthday, and I'll tell y'all why. And because I had an idea of where he fell. Right on the everybody's not into astrology or whatever, but I kind of figured which zodiac sign he fell under because of the way he talked about the people he's worked with and his loyalty to people. And my head was like, I know somewhere this man is a Gemini. Lo and behold, he's a Gemini.
Yeah.
I said,
Yeah.
because I
Yeah.
know we are loyal sometimes to our own detriment, but you're loyal. But to hear him, if you have not heard his interview, just go. It's not the whole thing, but you can hear the entire interview on Democracy Now, and it's worth a listen. Just to and his responses. I love his responses to people because he wanted people to. He made sure that she understood when she came out and said, as a black about he was talking about Black Panther,
Hmm.
a black movie, a black director. He said Black Panther was the highest grossing movie period
Yeah.
that year. So he made
Yeah.
sure he kind of on several instances, he made sure to let the interviewer know in a kind way that it wasn't about black. It was about this was the highest grossing movie, period. Had nothing to do with being a black movie, just movie. And so I really appreciated that about him. And then watching Sinners, and I know Brian and the spoilers, but I don't know if I don't think I told you I had an encounter when I went to an art uh, sale the other day, and one of the people there started talking about Sinners, and he asked me about the use of vampires in there. And of course, I told him what I thought that it wasn't about the vampires per se, as
Yeah.
but it was deeper than that. And
Yeah.
and even listening to my daughter, who is the one in Texas, she started talking about it. She posted some of her stories, and she said, "This is not about a horror movie or vampire movie." She said, "This is an epic story."
It is.
And when he talks about it in that interview, he said, "It's an epic." I was like, I called her and told her, I said, "This man said exactly what you said." He said, "This is an epic." And she went on to describe what the details of what an epic would include. I was like, girl, yes, I agree with her. But, I think that people, when you go in there, and I myself will probably go and see it a second time, because my husband, who is he's not a really big movie fan, he said, but would you watch this a second time? He said, because to see what you miss, he said, because I know I missed something.
Well, I mean, a lot of times when you watch a movie, especially something on that grand scale, you're just trying to take it all in visually, and you're trying to, hear the story. But then there's some subtleties that you will miss. So sometimes that's why people go back and watch movies a second time. I definitely want to see this another time because there's so many underlying stories that are woven in this. And when you watch it, no spoilers, you'll see those threads that are linked together. And there's a lot of history in it. People don't really notice that, but there's a lot of history in this movie, and you have to really pay attention. So for all those, and yes, people have been saying, I've been putting the comments up. It's been, when you go online to look for the IMAX showings, a lot of them are sold out. Just keep trying, and if you don't get the opportunity to see it in IMAX, just go and see it in a regular, on a regular screen. It's really, really worth the watch. And if you've seen it once,
and when you talk about the history of it, Chris, I think one of the things you see is how it brought up, because of the movie itself and the Chinese people in there, it actually revived the documentary that was out a while ago on the Chinese people of the Mississippi Delta. And so they've been showing these videos of these Chinese women who grew up down there with their Southern accents and everything, and talking about the stores. And I think that him bringing the history into it of what actually was happening in the Delta was important. And even for me, some of the things that they mentioned in there, I know I went to places with my father. I was in the car while he was picking up White Lightning.
Okay.
Well, the home brew was in the closet it was brewing, that kind of stuff. So it's that kind of thing. And I think that when people watch it, clearly understand this is not about if you see the horror in the movie, it's not because the movie is a horror movie.
No, it's not. There's just so much. We can't really talk about it but there's so much going. It's so layered and it's so well worth the watch. So just go and watch it. If you can't watch it IMAX, still go and watch it in on a regular screen.
Is Brian the only one that said no spoiler? Because I'm gonna need Brian to go see this movie, because you can't talk about sinners without talking about sinners,
Yeah, I mean, come on, Brian. It's been 2 weeks now. I think Ron actually hadn't seen it yet either. He's been trying to go to an IMAX and it's been sold out everywhere. Because I think we talked about it yesterday. Ron, if you're listening while you're in the chair, just go see it this weekend, regardless if it's IMAX or not. All right, so let's move on. Yesterday, the Tony Awards were announced. And I don't really follow the Tonys as much, but this year I kind of did because I was able to go to a show at the end of last year, and it just kind of like sparked something in me to go back and to enjoy Broadway shows again. But let me see where my notes. Yeah, so there were 3 films that actually were nominated in multiple categories, multiple times, and they were nominated for 10 times each for different things. So it's Buena Vista Social Club, Death Becomes Her, and Maybe Happy Endings. Now, I will say the only one out of those 3 that I did see thus far was Death Becomes Her. And Death Becomes Her is a remake of a 1992, the actual movie Death Becomes Her, film. Mm-hmm. And I have to say, this adaptation for the stage was amazing. From the moment the curtains come up with Michelle Williams singing the opening song, all the way through was just amazing. And one of the things I was concerned about was how are they going to, and this is, of course, no spoilers because this movie is from 1992 and they're just recreating it on stage. The scene where she gets shot and then she has the hole in her body, like how did they do that and how do you replicate that on stage? All I want to say is it's amazing what you can do technically nowadays and how it actually works. And even, her falling down the stairs, Mine is just blown. Broadway is amazing. I mean, I remember when I went to go see The Lion King and just experiencing that in the theater. It's like how they bring these movies to life on stage and you feel like you're a part of it. And it's just the interpretation because, not everything has to be a direct correlation, but it's how you interpret it, how you make people feel when you're watching these things.
Right.
So I just wanted to kind of talk about that. Have you seen any Broadway shows lately?
I haven't seen Death Becomes Her, but I did go to see Gypsy. Last time I was
Oh,
in New
okay.
York, I went to see Gypsy.
How was it?
Amazing, amazing. And I got the tickets like that day and had an amazing seat, maybe 3 seats back, rows back. And Audrey McDonald, my gosh, I can like to watch her and the emotion that she puts in one of the scenes in particular. I said, if you do that every day, everybody's crying, everybody's gonna stand up because it was just so amazing.
So wait, I believe she's probably the most nominated Broadway actress now because I think she got nominated again.
Yeah, she got nominated again this time. So Gypsy got
Yeah.
nominated this year, but it's a revival, I guess. I think that's what they put it under. So it's not under the regular musical part. It's under it's a
Yeah.
second grouping, and the one Pirates. And I'll tell you the thing about I have a friend, my closest male high school friend actually is a musical orchestrator on Broadway.
Oh,
So he's worked with the ones that are out now. He's worked with Gypsy. He's worked with Pirates, and both Gypsy and Pirates are nominated this year. And he worked with Boop, with
okay.
Betty Boop. He's worked with all three of those this
That's
year.
awesome.
He's been busy this year.
Yeah. I remember as a kid being introduced to Broadway. So we had a grade school arts teacher who had lots of friends in theater and that worked on Broadway. So a couple times out of the year, she would put together field trips for us kids to go in to the city and see Broadway shows. And then we were lucky enough because she knew a lot of these people. We were able to hang out at the side entrances and to meet some of the cast members in these shows. I remember seeing. Now I'm going to take you all the way back. Starlight Express.
Oh wow.
I saw that. Cats. We saw that.
Oh yeah.
Um, Into the Woods. I believe we saw Into the Woods when Felicia Rashad was in that show. And then, like I said, I've seen The Color Purple. I've seen The Lion King. I've seen Wicked. And then, I've seen some off Broadway shows. If you have never been to Broadway or seen an off Broadway show or a traveling show, I'm going to advise you to go and support the arts and support the theater.
Oh,
It's
absolutely.
amazing what these people do. And then they're doing shows like 2 days a week, two times a
Two
day.
times a day. Yeah.
Yeah, for like 5, 6 days a week. So I mean, it's a lot. And when you hear these people singing and belting these out to all the way in the back, yes, they have microphones on, whatever, but the power that is in their voice and what they have to do to maintain their voices, it's just it's amazing.
And what I'll say to people who want to see any of those, this is the time to go. Go while the
Yes.
main characters are still there because they're
Yeah.
going to be there until now after the Tonys. I'm not going to guarantee you that all the main characters are going to be there, the
Yeah.
main performers.
Yeah.
But now is the time to go see them. And I actually saw 2 versions of Color Purple. I saw it
Oh, dude.
when it first came out, and I went with my daughter, and I was like, these are the worst. These are not Broadway voices. These people are trash. I mean, the whole time I was talking about this
Oh,
thing
wow.
because I'm very I almost have I can hear almost in perfect pitch. And
Okay.
Broadway voices to me have a certain quality, like a
Yeah.
certain carry to them. The second time I saw it, Cynthia Erivo was in it.
Okay.
That
So
was a
I went.
totally different experience. That was like,
So
my goodness.
I went when Fantasia was there, but we
Mhm.
did not see Fantasia because she was sick that day.
Correct.
And I remember when we first got into the theater and they announced that due to her illness, Fantasia would not be performing. Her understudy would be performing. People booed. They were pissed because people paid to go and see
You go see
certain
her.
people perform. Let me tell you something. And I don't remember the young woman's name, but after the show ended, they gave this young lady a standing ovation. And I remember her on stage crying because I'm sure she could probably hear the people in the audience in the very beginning when they booed that Fantasia wasn't performing. It was a marvel to watch. And just, people live their entire lives wanting to be on Broadway and then get that and to be able to get the opportunity to do it and then to see them shine.
Right.
It's breathtaking.
And people should never underestimate the understudies because
Absolutely.
for them to be an understudy, they have to have talent. Because when we went to see
Absolutely.
the Michael Jackson musical, we saw the understudy. I was
Okay.
like, if this is the understudy, the other guy must be just really out of this world because the understudy was amazing. And that we try
Yeah.
to make sure, like my granddaughter goes with us, we always try to make sure we take her to see a play or something. So
Yeah.
she saw the Marilyn Akivo one last year. So she saw that last year. But
Okay.
try to make sure she sees things like that. And my introduction actually to theater was growing up in elementary school in Cleveland, Ohio. Because Cleveland actually had a great art scene. If most people don't know that a lot of the older Black actors and actresses like Esther Roll and a lot of other people came through Cleveland through the Caramoo House, which was a Black theater house that was in Cleveland. So we would go see people at the Caramoo House, and then every student in Cleveland schools the schools had to take them to see an opera.
Okay.
Because Cleveland has like a world-renowned orchestra. They still do. So you had to go so that's how I got into watching operas and Shakespeare and all that. All of that came because of Cleveland and the cultural the cultural exposure they made sure their students had back in the day. Now a lot of these systems don't do any cultural things with their kids like that now, but they made sure we had it. And musicals, I love musicals. Bringing the noise. I saw things like Bring the Noise, Bring the Funk. I saw the Dream Girls when Jennifer Holiday.
A Holiday. Okay.
The original ones. I saw them with
Okay. Okay.
I saw Dream Girls when they were all in it, which was
Okay.
really so that how long ago that was.
Yeah. We won't tell you that.
It was a long time
All right,
ago.
all right, let me just put this back on the screen. So you had a Tony Award nomination just announced yesterday, and George Clooney got his first Tony nomination, and Cynthia Erivo will be hosting, and that's on June 8th on CBS and Paramount Plus. So definitely go and check it out. And we're encouraging you guys go out and see some Broadway shows, and also watch them when they travel to different cities.
Oh, absolutely.
All right. Let's put some other comments on here. Anthony said he saw The Wiz last summer in New York. Awesome. Okay. I don't think The Wiz is still playing, is it?
I don't know.
Okay. I don't remember.
Probably a limited run or something.
Yeah. Buena Vista Social Club leads the pack this year. Yes. Bryson, listen, you need to come on here and do a whole segment on entertainment because you are in the know. And you can, you're correcting, you know everything. So you need to come on here. We need to figure out a time for you to come on Fridays and just do a small segment.
Right.
All right, let's see what else. And then also we got the BET Awards 2025 coming up on June 9th. And this year is Black Tie Affair, and they celebrate the 25th anniversary, and it kicks off early. Okay. Let's see who else. Broadway is the pinnacle. Yes, it is. It's not like Hollywood where you get multiple tastes. They swing from the fences from the very beginning. Yeah, it's true. Like Broadway is a one take thing. Like you have one time to do this. There's no, oh wait, hold on, reset the cameras. No, it's live. It is live.
Like you on or not? It's like with Broadway. When we went to see Hell's Kitchen, I was like, okay, so is this a hype? But that Hell's Kitchen was actually really good. And
I heard that was really good.
She just left. The one that was singing the lead one, she just left. But it was extremely good. It was very good.
Yeah, I heard that was really, really good. Okay. All right, so you guys definitely go out and check these shows out. Now let's move on to some accounts that will bless us, and we find that we want to share. So I have one. I want to share this one. I've been really just kind of getting into a lot of the AI. BJ really put me onto this, and some of the work that people have been doing is just outstanding. So I want to share this one with you first. Give me a second. All right, so this account is called Olaris Imaginarium, which is an interesting name.
Yeah.
Um, but this is all AI generated, and it what I love about this, it mixes AI and it doesn't make it look realistic, but it makes it look like paintings, and
Yeah.
so you have like harsh brushwork. So I just want to kind of go through some of these. I'll play the music. Sorry. Can you guys hear the music on this?
Yes. I can.
Okay. Okay. Because I can't hear it, so
Oh, I can hear it.
okay, there we go. What I loved about this one, the artist says that they've been writing more horror lately, and they're not really into that genre, but they've been exploring it and just seeing where it goes. And like these just look amazing. You know, here's the thing: people say, "Oh, AI is you're using a computer to do all this," but you have to think about it. You have to have a sensibility to actually know what prompts to give it and how to manipulate it to give you the look and feel that you're trying to convey. Like, look at
You have
this.
to have some talent to do this.
Yes,
Yeah.
this stuff is
Can't all do
stunning.
it. We can't all pick up a computer and start doing this tomorrow.
No, like look at this. Like this looks like a hand drawing. You know what I mean? Maybe airbrush with some pencil work. It's just amazing.
I like it. I like it.
So that's one. Now, Ron actually, before he left out, he sent me a few, and I want to start with. Let me get this one first. I believe this. Oh no, that's not it. Did I pick the wrong one? Oh, here we go.
Okay.
So actually, Ron gave the one. This one that he gave me is he'll be actually going to this event tomorrow, I believe. Yeah. Oh no, Sunday, May 4th. It's
Sunday.
called Portraits in Conversation with Keith Major and Meg Schmidt. Finding fulfillment and community through photography. So if you're in the New York City area, definitely try and go out and support. This is going to be in Brooklyn, 94 Saratoga Avenue in Brooklyn, and I believe it starts at 4 p.m. So definitely go and check this out. Let's just look through some of the works on this page. So a lot of self-portrait photography.
Yes.
Oh, I love this. This is
Nice.
stunning.
Yes, that's nice.
Love the play on color.
I was gonna say, look at the colors of the dress and how and the
Yeah,
background that they have it in,
yeah,
and the lighting at
stunning.
the bottom. Yeah.
Now, I love stuff like this, like nature and animals and landscapes. Like that's my thing. This is nice. And oh, this is
That's
stunning.
nice. That's nice.
This is stunning. I love. Listen, let me tell you something. In my past, I was what we call. I was a person who chased a sunset or a sunrise, getting up in the crack of dawn to go drive to a beach or a mountaintop to get that sunrise. And here's the thing, people don't realize sunsets. A good sunset happens before the sun actually rises, and a sunset happens after the sun goes down. But you can't just leave when the sun goes down. Once
Right.
it goes below that horizon line, you've got about an hour really to shoot a really good sunrise or sunset, um, because that's when the sky kind of lights up. And really, what you want is to have some clouds in the sky, because what's happening is the sun is the clouds are refracting the light from the sun that's below the horizon line, and that's when you start to get those beautiful hues of purples and pinks and oranges, that type of stuff. So
Right.
definitely, I am definitely a sunrise sunset type of person.
Like
So
I'm a
this is
sun I do sunsets, but when I treated myself to a Airbnb in Malibu one time, right on the water. And that morning I got to see the sun rise. Oh my goodness. It was just amazing over the water with a few clouds in the background. It was beautiful.
I don't know. It does something to you. I can't put it into words. Like there is this connection that we all have. It makes us human. It grounds us as human beings to know that this thing that you're watching right now is not guaranteed tomorrow. Who's to say this is good? This won't be your last one. So there's something about that just kind of grounds us, and I think that's why I find them amazing. And every time I get a chance to photograph them or see them, I love it. Like even like this morning, I went out for my 4-mile walk and run, and I left out before sunrise. And I always make a point to stop because I always look to see what times the actual sunrise is in my location, and I'll turn around and I'll take a photograph of it before it comes up, because that's, like I said, that's when you get the most beautiful colors, and then you get a chance to appreciate the day. You know,
right. And that's like being in DC. I keep telling my husband, I said, I need to find out where can I see a great sunset in DC.
Can I tell you where? Oh, sunsets?
Sunset, yes.
I'm sure you can probably get it in the same place where you get the sunrise. So I am partial to the tidal basin.
Oh, okay.
There's a great sunrise on the tidal basin, because if you at a certain area, like on the side where like that MLK statue is, or even getting closer to like where you can see the Jefferson Memorial, the sun rises over that. Especially during the summer and fall months, you can get a really good shot over there. I've done that a couple of times. The tidal basin is pretty, and especially during which we just passed. Why can't I think of it right now?
The cherry blossom.
Cherry blossoms. Yes, thank you. It's really, really nice that time of the year. So definitely check out a sunrise over the tidal basin.
That would definitely
let me just look at let me stop sharing this real quick. Let's go through some comments, and then we'll get back to some other comments. Let's see. So yes, the Met Gala is on Monday, and if everyone should be watching that, of course, with the special focus on Black beauty, Black fashion. Definitely check it out.
Yes.
Met Gala
about AI. That some artists think about too. Okay,
let me see if I can find that. I don't listen. This is why it's always helpful when you have more than one person doing this. I got to scroll back. I'll look for it, but in the meantime, there's a couple other ones I want to get in here before. Let's see. Ron had one. Let me pull up another one of Ron's.
I don't even see Ron's.
So the last one we just looked at was one that Ron
you mean his clips? Okay, I thought you were talking his comments. I was like, I don't see a comment.
Oh no. No. Oops. Did I lose it? Okay, here we go. And let me just share my screen. So Ron's been on this kick now where he's been looking at, because of the Met Gala coming up, a lot of fashion pages, and this was one of them. I'm not even going to try to pronounce this person's name. Let me just zoom in on it so you guys can see it. That is the account. But yeah, just looking at some of the men's fashions, I mean, like this just kind of speaks to my soul a little bit. These are timeless and classic looks, simple, and especially now, summertime coming around, simple linen pants, some sandals, and a nice dress shirt. You can even, still wear a nice jacket. Let me just actually click on it. Whoops. Let me click on some of these. Effortless, clean, simple. A nice weekend bag.
That makes throws you back to those days when the men used to wear those outfits and be in the movies.
Yeah, and like we've been talking about the dandy movement, like this speaks to all of that. Layering, mixing and matching. Now, I mean, some of these pieces are probably older, and you just mix and match with new pieces. Yeah, a simple white beater with some slacks.
A nice blazer.
Yeah. Yeah, this is my type of page.
Yeah, this is nice. What's his name again?
Oh, here it is. Let me zoom in on it. I'm not Made. I'm not going to try to pronounce the last name. Yeah.
I wouldn't either.
I would butcher it. Okay. All right. Let me see if I can pull up another one. I've got a couple. Actually, let me pull this one up. I think I came across, someone sent me this earlier in the week. Let me see if I can get the page. This is worth a listen. It's a little bit long, but it's worth come on, how am I going to get this? Okay, here we go. I think we all need a little of this in our lives right now. And you probably have seen it already, but we're going to play it.
Ran for the presidency in 08, I fly down to North Carolina, South Carolina. Alarm goes off, and I feel terrible. I am exhausted. Think I'm coming down with a cold. I open up the curtains. It's pouring down rain outside. Pouring down rain. Horrible day. I get the newspaper outside my door, and there's a bad story about me in the New York Times. I get dressed, shave, walk out. My umbrella blows open. That ever happened to you? And I get soaked. I'm just soaked. I get in the car. I said, all right, how long is it going to take to Greenwood? An hour and a half. Finally, I get out and I walk in, and there are like 15, 20 people there. And I will tell you, they didn't look any happier to see me than I did to see them. And so I go around the room and I say, how do you do? What do you do? But they're not really feeling it right now. And suddenly I hear this voice from the back just shout, fired up. And everybody in the room says, fired up. And then I hear the voice say, ready to go. And everybody in the room says, ready to go. And I don't know what's going on. I think these people are crazy. Maybe I shouldn't have come here. And then I look in the back of the room. And there's this middle-aged woman. She's got a big church hat. And she got, I think, a gold tooth. Turns out she holds a position in the local NAACP office. And also, I'm not kidding you, is a private detective. This is a true story. She's like a private eye. Although it's hard to think that you wouldn't see her coming. She's very colorful. And she is known wherever she goes by saying this chant, fired up, ready to go. And every meeting she goes to, she does this thing. But the interesting thing is, after a while, I'm starting to get kind of fired up. I'm starting to feel like I'm ready to go. And all those negative thoughts and all those bad memories start kind of drifting away. And it just goes to show you how one voice can change a room. And if it can change a room, it can change a city. And if it can change a city, it can change a state. And if it can change a state, it can change a nation. And if it can change a nation, it can change the world. So I just have one question for you. Are you fired up? Ready to go?
Let me tell you something. So I posted this in my stories, I believe, a couple of days ago, and the comments that I got from just posting my stories, people were saying how, they long for a time where this man will just speak, that he would lead us again. Some people actually cried just listening to him. And I think that's what we are longing for now more than ever.
Right. Yeah, I've told people, and Jazzy and I have had this conversation. I've had this conversation with friends. What we don't realize is that we're all suffering from PTSD. from
Yeah.
the last 5 years, right? From the last 5+ years, we're suffering from that. And to be in a time that feels so heavy and dark sometimes now, you long for that voice in the wilderness. You long for that voice that's motivating you, that voice that says, hey, let's do it. Let's get fired up and ready to go. Let's move. Let's do some things. We long for that. And that's part, we don't have, it's like you don't have that. It's like a void. So you miss that person like Obama who can motivate. That man can motivate a room no matter what, just by opening his mouth. And he has a way with his wit, everything is just amazing. And it gets people motivated.
You know what I miss more than anything about him? He is intentional with his words. And when I say that, what I mean when I say that is when you listen to him talk or when you watch him talk, like he'll speak, but then he has these pauses.
Mm-hmm.
And those pauses are intentional because he's gathering his words and he's very mindful of the words that he uses because he knows that his words have impact and have meaning. And when you hold that office, the highest office in our land, and people look at us on the world stage, your words have meaning, or they used to. And I think that's what we're longing for. We're longing for a time where someone is respectful. I mean, just look at when McCain and Obama were running against each other. And someone said, oh, Obama, he's this and he's that. And McCain stepped and said, no, he's an American.
Right.
And he's a good person.
Right.
That's what we're missing, and that's what we're lacking now. You've got someone who just wants to tear people down and call people names. I mean, it reminds you of like when you were in grade school and you've got the bully out on the playground who doesn't have words because they don't have the vocabulary, so they use,
right.
They don't make any sense. I mean, we long for that time. So I wanted to play this because I felt as though that this was just something that we're missing and we're lacking today.
Because we have a person now who can't even just say, have a nice Easter and leave it at that without adding some nastiness in it. Like nothing can just be plain and uplifting. There's no uplifting, only tearing down. And I think, like you said, he's a great orator, but he also had a way of making you feel valued.
Yes.
That part, and not feeling like everything, like you can do nothing right. This man's like, everything is just crazy and it's all everybody's fault and he won't take any blame. But even then, if every conversation, it leads to something negative.
Yeah.
That's the part that we're not getting anyone who speaks on that side whose mouth doesn't say something negative every time they open up. And I think we have to get to that point. We're not going to get to that with these people.
And you know what? It's funny. Going back a couple of weeks when Cory Booker did his 25-hour speech on the Senate floor, and like that was kind of bringing us back a little bit. I think we need more of that. We need more people like that to do things like that. So I'm optimistic. You have to be. I'm optimistic.
Right.
But you had one, and I've got your contribution to today's Focus Friday. So you want to talk about this one a little bit? This is the Modern Housewife of New York.
Yeah, so I wanted to put something up there, like you said. I wanted it to be something fun to look at, something beautiful, not because we see a lot of other stuff going on. And her things are just amazing is what she does. She actually makes those hats, but her family's involved and she walks around the streets of New York like that. And she recently had a miscarriage, but even doing that, she talked about her sadness. She acknowledged her sadness, but her doing that kind of helped pull her out of the darkness. But but I just think her page is so fun and beautiful, and I think that's what we need. We needed to see something like fun.
It's very avant-garde. Like she definitely does not. She goes for a different drum, as they would say.
She does.
I love this. Love this. You have to be bold to step out on the street. I mean, if you're going to do it anywhere, New York is definitely a place to do this. But like, you have to be bold to have this type of look.
And that's her son.
Wow. Love it. Love it. Love it. What I love when parents allow their kids to express themselves.
Yes. And I think that's the beautiful part. And they show traveling with the kids and her husband. Sometimes her father shows up in it. But it's all around fashion, but not in the sense of, oh, here's so-and-so's, I got this. It's not about a designer, really.
Right.
It's about being free to express yourself.
Yeah.
That's why I love it. I watch every day.
So definitely going. I'm definitely going to follow this one as well. Let me stop sharing. Let's just see what people are saying in the comments before we get ready to close out. I don't want to keep you guys too long. We're trying to stay on time today. All right. So let's see. I see Hannah actually
suggest anything. I didn't see anyone.
Okay.
So I didn't see anything.
Hannah's here. She says, "Hi, Chris. Had to take my husband to the doctor again. We are in the drive-through for his prescriptions now. I'm asking for a bonus and a raise." Okay. Okay. Let's see. Bryson said, "What's up, Hannah? You're late." It's okay. Listen, she still made it.
Hey, Hannah.
All right. So before we get out of here, we always have to make sure that we are doing our promotions. And I'm not going to slack off for Ron. So
yes.
Don't forget to join his email list today and sign up at ronlewisphotos.com so that you can get notified when he's doing things, and that's how you're going to keep informed, because we don't know how long these social media platforms are going to last with what's going on in the world. So this is another way for him to reach out and to keep in touch with Ron. All right. Also, Ron is an event photographer. He shares his event stories, and he is available for corporate events, and he is willing to travel. So make sure you check out ronlewisphotos.com. If you've got an event, he'll definitely be there to support you. He also wants to thank his Patreon members for their constant support, because you know what? We can't do this show without you Patreon supporters. He's got different tiers. So go to Patreon and look up Ron Lewis Photos and go and support. Also, Rolling Clouds. That's another great sponsor for Ron Lewis Photos. All right. I think that's it for the promos. Elise, are you doing anything this weekend?
So I do have a bit of news about myself. I'm sure Jazzy will be, she probably said I should do this. But I actually, I don't know if you all know, I applied for a trademark.
Okay.
So the hat I have that says "Living Not Just Existing," that statement is my trademark, just because that's
awesome.
My motto I live by, right? And so you have to do, if you've ever done one, you have to you think you're all the way done, and they tell you, oh, but you got to show proof of use. I was like, what? What is that? So I had to do that. So because of that, I actually have a website now.
Okay.
Where there are actually two hats on it. It's this hat, and then my Addicted to Art hat is on it.
Is the website up?
Yeah, my website is up. It's called.
All right, let me see if I can pull it up real quick. Go ahead.
It's called livinglifenotjustexisting.com.
Oops.
Livinglifenotjustexisting.com.
Okay. Living Life 1956.
So that's what you see on the screen. Yes.
All right, hold on. I'm gonna put it up so people can see it. Share screen. Yay! So this is Elise's website.
So it's basic right now, but
that's all right. Proof of life, proof of existence. Get that trademark.
Yes. And so
okay.
Yeah. And of course, the statement came up after I went through my mental health crisis in 2018, and you still go back and forth. And that's when I figured out I wasn't living life. I was just existing. I was just waking up every day, performing the way I thought the world needed me to perform, and giving everything I had to the world and not anything to myself. So that's when I started on my journey that you all see me on now, of living my life out loud.
That's awesome. I'm so happy and proud for you, man.
And you know where I got the thought from?
Where?
The movie The Family That Prays, Prey.
Oh, okay.
That prays. That's where I got that idea from.
All right. So this is gonna be a nasty weekend up in the Northeast. I believe, who was it that said? Jazzy said, or someone said. But if you can get out, get out. The weather's getting warmer. Everybody wants to be outside. Concerts are starting to happen. So live life. Don't just stay in the house. Get outside and explore. Go to an art museum. Go to a gallery. Do something. Go to the movies. Go see Sinners.
Yeah, go see Sinners, Brian. You're still in here. And what I'm doing is I'm starting my weekend by going to a paint and sip tonight. This is my first time ever doing that. I've never
Seriously?
done it. With one of the artists that I like. She's having a paint and sip, so I'm going to that tonight. Tomorrow, we're going to one of my husband's family members. He just found out by reading the obituary that his family member passed, so we're gonna go there. But I also have an art event I'm attending in Baltimore. I have an art event I'm attending on Sunday. Then my husband and I on Monday morning will get up and go to the museum, the National Museum of History and Culture, for another members event.
Okay, all right.
So that's my weekend.
Well, let me just show you what my weekends will entail.
Oh no, package
more and more boxes. Listen, we're down to 28 days, I think, before we move. So excited. Some things are coming in. I mean, literally, our place is a war zone, but it's okay. It's for that next chapter, and I'm excited and ready for it. But before we leave,
moving.
Listen, I hate it, but this is a necessary move. We're a lot more space, a better environment, and it's going to allow us to just do a lot more things and just have a more comfort. You know what I mean? It's the next stage. This place will hold a special place in my heart because this is the first place that my husband and I got together after being married. So, this will always hold a special place. I love the community and where we live. I'm going to miss being able to look out my window and seeing the Delaware River in the morning. I'm not going to miss the train or the foghorns, but I'll miss the environment.
How far are you moving far away or?
No, it's about a 15-minute drive from here. We're still going to be living in Delaware. So we're going to be in Newark, moving back to Newark. But just really looking forward to it. And I think we'll be doing a lot more. I'll be producing a lot more content from there as well. But before we get out of here, I just want to share one more account. And there was something that this person posted I wanted to leave everybody with. So with that being said, let me just go and share this last account. Listen, please show some love to Ron for what he does here every day. It's really a lot. I mean, when you don't have another producer doing all these things, gathering all this material, putting them up, trying to have interaction with the people that are on the screen, and then also the people in the chat, it's a lot. It's not easy, okay? So show him some love. All right, so this last account is from Anna Deshawn. She is a award-winning podcaster, and she works in the queer space. She's also a gay woman, and she's married. I actually interviewed her for my show Safe Space, I believe it was last year, and I just love her work and what she's doing in the community, and what she is, who she is as a journalist and as a human being. So let me just I'll just play something of hers so you can, actually that's the wrong one. Where is it? Reels.
Podcast that I'm listening to. Okay, that's what the Cube is all about. Matching you up to your next favorite Black or Brown podcast. So why can't I just start right now? Let's go. The podcast I want to recommend to you today is Red for Revolution. Have you heard about it? No? Let's get into it. Now, Red for Revolution is an audio drama, okay? It's a 6-part series. My wife and I finished it, and you know what she said? She said, wait, is that it? That's what audio dramas do. The good ones, that's what they do. They make you want more. Now, this series centers a young Black lesbian coming of age, juxtaposed by her grandmother's lesbian love story that took place in like the 60s. It's beautiful. Now, the cherry on top of this wonderful storyline is that it's full of celebrities, voices that you recognize.
All right, so I'm not going to play the whole thing, and this is not really what I wanted to leave you guys with, but just to let you know that there are people out there that are uplifting the community, and they are a voice. And she's definitely one of these people. She's based out of Chicago. Like I said, I interviewed her for my Safe Space show. And I think what I'll do is I'll send Ron the link for this. I believe it's on Indie Soup Media's page, so you can definitely watch it there. But she's a beautiful person, has a great story, and she's always sharing. She has started, she has several podcasts, and that's what she does for her business. But she reposted something that Kamala Harris did, I believe it was earlier this week, and I just want to leave you with this. So before we exit, I'm just going to play this and then sign off. All right, so here we go.
And please, always remember, this country is ours. It doesn't belong to whoever is in the White House. It belongs to you. It belongs to us. It belongs to we, the people. And
listen to it again.
Always remember, this country is ours. It doesn't belong to whoever is in the White House. It belongs to you. It belongs to us. It belongs to we, the people.
One more time.
Yeah.
And please, always remember, this country is ours. It doesn't belong to whoever is in the White House. It belongs to you. It belongs to us. It belongs to we, the people.
Yeah, so I just wanted to leave you guys with that. She posted that this morning, and I saw it. I was just like, you know what? I think that would be a great way to end the show. So
because before you put it on, you said you found something she was gonna do. I thought you were gonna show where she was doing the boots on the ground dance.
Oh no, I did see that too.
But that's amazing, because you know what I thought about when you showed that? Fired up and ready to go.
Yeah.
It made that come back to my head.
Yeah. Yeah. Listen, guys, thank you guys for joining us all week. Thank you for joining Ron. Thank you for joining me. I think I was on here 3 times this week. That's a lot.
Great job, Chris.
Yeah. Gwendolyn and I did the show on Wednesday. And then of course Ron and I did yesterday's show, and I'm doing today's show. Thank you guys for joining us, joining me. Continue to support what Ron does here every day, because it is not a small task at all. It is monumental. Like, to do all this, it really takes a lot. And Ron, I know you're out there and I can see you in the chat. My brother, kudos to you. I mean, you've done something, you've created something really special here. To know that you can jump on here every single day and to come on and to talk to people, and not just talk to people, but share with a community that you have created, cultivated, matured. Is something special. This is definitely a legacy, something you will definitely leave behind. And I'm so proud of you. I love what you do, and I can't wait to see what you do in the next phase of this, once you make your big move and you're traveling around the world and doing this. So thank you to you for creating this platform. Thank you, Elise, for being a part of this and joining me today. And I'm not sure what Ron has got in store for you guys this weekend, if he's going to be on, but I believe he's going to be on tonight for game night, because that's typically on a Friday night. So join him tonight here for game night, and then join him again, I believe, Monday night or the Sunday night for game night. But until then, everyone, I'll see you guys next week. Have a great weekend. Go out, support Black businesses, support culture. Go watch Sinners. Go watch a Broadway show. Have some fun, and we'll see you guys next week. Goodbye, everybody.
Bye, everybody.
Hello, and thank you for joining us today. Make sure you hit the like, the subscribe, and leave a comment on this video. I would love to hear from you. Thank you again. Until I see you next time.